Who are these players we're about to cast then, Snipe?
Alright, so now we're doing Allandarity versus License to Chill.
Okay, got it. Got it.
These are B teamers. Allandarity is on Chobos with Attitude, CWA, and License to Chill is on Team Supply Block. The two. So we have the Terran up here in the top right, White Terran, License to Chill, Team Supply Block. And over in the top left, we have the Blue Zerg Allandarity, CWA Allandarity from Chobos with Attitude. Don't know too much about either of these players. I played a couple of games against License to Chill, but obviously PvTs. Haven't seen him around too much other than that and playing his games though. And Allandarity, I don't think I've ever seen play, so should be good. Another TVZ.
Yeah, well, despite being a B team Zerg, I'm pretty impressed that they're able to do the larva trick. I mean, it's not too big of a deal, but having the knowledge to do that, I think, is pretty cool. Being able to swing the larva around to the closer to the minerals, pretty smart.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. If anyone doesn't know how to do that, you select the larva. You can select your overlord and press stop, and the larva will move over to the left side of the hatchery, just so it's closer to the minerals when it hatches. Good Zergs will do that like early game if they spawn on the left side like this. But later game doesn't really matter. There's too much else going on to actually worry about that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, in general, it looks like the opening so far for both our players is pretty standard. The Zerg saving up minerals for a hatchery, most likely, and a barracks after supply depot for the Terran. So, very standard stuff. Both of them seem to be scouting each other first, so, there won't be any surprises for our players.
Yeah, I like the scout pattern. Normally on Fighting Spirit here, as Zerg, you want to scout the close natural first like this. Just to see where they're at, what's up, as soon as possible, if they're there, obviously. And as Terran or as Protoss, you usually want to scout the other way, expecting the Overlord to come that way, so you can scout them first as well. So, both players showing they know how to scout on this map, which is good. So we did see 12 hatch, and I think 12 pool or 11 pool after that from the Zerg, and Terran looks pretty standard so far. Going for a fast CC. Scouting, seeing that the pool isn't done, knowing there's not going to be any early lings pressuring him. He knows he can get his command center up on the low ground without having to worry about dying.
Yeah, so not too much going on early game with our both the players. They're playing pretty standard, pretty econ heavy, which I do like. As B teamers, we're all trying to improve. A teamers as well, but if you're willing to kind of play these more macro-oriented, long-term strategy type builds, you're going to gain more out of it. Versus if you're going to try to four pool 8 racks people every game, games are going to be shorter. You're not going to get as much out of them. So I like what the players are doing.
Yeah, and that's the point of the league really here too, right? Is learning how to get better and play better. If you're just gonna cheese people, it's like, well, why bother, kind of, like, learn the game, get better. And the best way to do that is by playing, standard games, little deviations, learning how things interact, why standard is good. Okay, Zerg just killed off the SCV, which is nice. So Terran's not going to know when the layer's coming up. Which just started now. We'll have to see if Allandarity likes to go for the lurker play or Mutalisks.
So by default, I noticed that License to Chill kind of immediately dedicated to spending 100 minerals on the bunker. I don't think that's necessary, especially since he has 2 barracks pumping marines right now. I think the normal thing you can do, as long as your SCV is kind of still alive and they're able to see what's coming out of these larvae, if your SV is still alive, walking back and forth, and you see that the Zerg is going for drones, you know that obviously no more additional Zerglings are coming. You can just have only Marines and maybe build like a supply depot right here to kind of have like a little small choke point to defend. So this might have been an overreaction by the Terran.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I fully like this bunker placement because I mean, there's a lot of open area. If Zerg was going for some kind of a Zergling bust, that they could just easily run past that bunker and up the ramp.
Right, exactly. Because if
there's like nothing blocking the way of the Zerglings.
Yeah, if Allandarity had gone for 12 speedlings and just walked up, like 6 lings go up this way, 6 that way, they definitely could have surrounded the bunker and killed it.
Yeah. Yeah, so ideally you want to try and limit the space, you know, in case something like that happens. Put like a barracks down there, an engineering bay, a couple supply depots. Just kind of make it smaller and harder for Zerg to get us around or to run by.
Yeah, I do want to point out License to Chill's macro has been a bit interesting. So he seems to be prioritizing tech and buildings. Not so much actually. Oh, there's a Zergling run by.
And that's exactly what can happen.
Yep.
So because he didn't have a block there, the Zerglings were able to easily run by and now get into his base.
Yeah, so
this could cause a lot of problems for him.
The Zerg's doing a good job of microing the Zerglings, and there's so much damage already.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. Like, you never want to see a bunch of Zerglings in your base like this. Like, he's losing a lot of SCVs. He's losing all his Marines.
Yeah, so I think the game is, you know, with just this one Zergling run by, the game's over because the Spire's about to finish. Zerg's going to make 9 mutas right off the bat. Instantly, like, as we can see here. Oh, he doesn't have enough because he got supply blocked. So he could have had an additional 3 or so Mutalisks, but he did get supply blocked. He's not able to make them all. At the end of the day, though, he is really far ahead.
Yeah, he did a lot of damage. Like, these Mutalisks could probably just win the game.
Yeah, so it was really, really crucial for the Terran to have somehow blocked this whole area so that the Zerglings couldn't just run by. I mean, at this point, that bunker really was useless because the Zerg completely ignored it and just ran right by. So the mutas are out.
The Mutalisk coming in. See if we're going to see some Mike right here. He's just starting one turret now, but it's like too late because the mutas are already here. You could deny these turrets.
Well, Zerg is playing really, really well. I liked, you know, their 1-2 combo. They came in with the Zerglings first, distracted the Terran, did a lot of damage, and he even has Sunken Defense at his knack. So he's ready for any sort of counter shenanigans. And this is really good play by our Zerg.
I mean, License to Chill is trying to hold on here. He's got a couple of turrets, or one turret, I guess, up. Not really mining from his nat. He's got a small group of Marines.
Yeah, no medics with the Marines either.
Yeah.
Some are being built right now, but before the Ling run by happened, I did want to point out, I noticed License to Chill. He threw down a lot of barracks. He threw down a factory, engineering bay, and he was teching. But the entire time his barracks weren't building. You know, so it's, to be honest, it's much, much better for you to have less barracks that are actually pumping and making units than for you to make a bunch of buildings that don't make anything. So, you know, even if he had just 2 barracks and he was macroing the entire time, he would have had probably, you know, 50% more units to defend against the Zerglings or the Mutalisks.
Yeah, just working on macro. Like, he's not even making any more SCVs, and he's only got a few mining at his natural. Just making more SCVs and using all these barracks, keeping yourself, like, not supply blocked, working on those few things would be really helpful.
So,
you can see he got the right idea. He was pushing down to bottom left, but now he's retreating.
No, License should definitely push up this and kill this third. 0 defenses
so this is
here.
good. So Zerg wasn't ready for this. I like this, taking this out, but I mean, even still, he's pretty far behind, considering he's not mining from his natural still. And Zerg's already getting Hive. Hive's like half done.
Yeah, so these units are definitely going to go down to these Zerglings and Mutalisks, but they did a really good job of denying this third base. It seems the Zerg might have been too distracted with his Mutalisk micro that maybe his lurker upgrade was slow or delayed. Because usually I think the standard timings Zerg should have lurkers done by the time that push had come out.
He had one larva left, bottom left, and made it into a drone. He's gonna retake that hatchery, it looks like. Like he's pushing up here, checking to see if Terran has a third base. Obviously, Terran doesn't. They took a lot of economic damage and didn't really replace any of those SCVs they lost.
Yeah, so the saturation at the Terran's natural is pretty poor. And when you compare that with Zerg's economy, Zerg is doing pretty well in their 2 bases, and they already have their hive tech at a really, really respectable time. I'm impressed with how the Zerg is playing, especially since he's a B team, and he's playing really, really well.
License Chill got his first tank out, just gonna lose it to the mutas.
Yeah, that's really good. That's gonna delay any sort of aggression the Terran's gonna want to do. I mean, in general, you want to have your tanks so that they can do free damage to these Sunkens and Lurkers, but it was really good by the Zerg to snipe that. Yeah, he's playing really well.
Yeah. Honestly, for the Terran, just work on your macro. Like, I know we said it a few times already, but you got no SCVs at the natural, basically, and your barracks aren't pumping. If you can work on, like, you've got the right ideas. You knew to push, like, the bottom left to kill the Zerg's third. That was a good play. If you were macroing behind that, you could have so much more right now and be able to defend this, but it looks like Zerg's just gonna run Terran over here.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel bad at all if I was licensed to chill, because, I mean, it's not necessarily him playing bad, it's Allandarity playing much better than anyone would expect of a B-teamer. I wouldn't be surprised in a few weeks, since players are able to be moved up and down, from A team to B team. I wouldn't be surprised if Allandarity, kept up with A-teamers. He's playing really well.
Solid game. Don't think Terran can do anything. And there we see the GG.
Very nice game. Since that Ling run by, I think Zerg had full control of the game.
Yeah, I mean, just a few little things, blocking the choke up a little more so Zerg can't do a Ling run by like that. Focusing on macro. He had the right ideas strategically, attacking, bottom left, making, the right unit choices and everything, so I like that, but a few things to clean up.
Yeah, that was good. So it seems like being able to balance being aggressive with your Marines and also trying to be aware of what the Zerg can do to you, what they have out on the map, and being able to be ready for that as well. Yeah, because honestly, that 12 Ling run by, that ended the game right there. It delayed all the turrets so that mutas did more damage, killed a bunch of Marines. Yeah, it was rough.
Alright. Well, we're going to Aztec last time. Let's see if License Chill can bring it back for the game 3 after.
Yeah. Well, if it's anything like the game 2 we saw last time between Nina Zerg and Snowfruit, maybe we'll see an 8 Rex. Proxy Rex in the middle. Let's do it. Let's do it. I shouldn't be encouraging
promoting
that.
Jesus?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Look at that APM spam. Almost 600 from Allandarity.
That's pretty impressive. So I don't know if you noticed, Snipe, but last game at the end screen, Allandarity had like 300 and something APM. It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I didn't.
A lot of that was early game spam.
That might be the case. Yeah, 500. Yeah, that'll boost your numbers for sure.
Yeah. Spam game is definitely up there. Again, we got the Zerg scouting to the base that Terran is not at.
So we haven't casted too many B-teamer games, but how many have we seen of a B-teamer with 400 plus APM, bro?
I know, right?
Who's Allandarity? I'm suspicious.
They all got that early game spam down? I don't know. Didn't we see one with like 600, 700 APM spam?
That's possible. That's crazy. I can guarantee you, though, past 10 minutes, you won't see anybody with 400, 500 APM.
No. All spam. Alright, so it doesn't look like we're going to see the proxy barracks this game.
Yeah, so pretty standard stuff. Supply depot first. Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if it was a bit late because he does seem a little supply blocked, and he's not taking SCV. Okay. Yeah, so he put down the barracks at like 250 minerals.
Really?
I think normally it's like you want to put this stuff down as soon as you have the minerals to make them.
Right, yeah, because you want to try to have your build as clean as possible for as long as possible. Especially since early on in the game, you haven't really interacted with your opponent that much. It's just you playing by yourself, really. So if you build your barracks 100 minerals too late, I mean, that could definitely snowball. I mean, that'll be lost production time. I mean, if your barracks finished that much earlier, you'd be able to have another marine or something. So it is important to keep your timings as clean as possible.
Sure. A little bit of drone harass here. Just delaying the already delayed barracks a little bit. That's, I mean, it's just buying Allandarity a little more time.
This is pretty good drone micro. What's going on here? He might get this SCV. Oh, but he stops going for it. Yeah, 2 more shots and this SCV would have gone down. But it is what it is.
Alright, Terran's scouting the Zerg out now. Sees the 12 hatch.
Yeah, so pretty standard stuff from both the players so far. I do want to see, if the Zerg goes for any other type of similar Ling aggression. I want to see if, License to Chill does better defending it this time. He's going for the same bunker first strategy. I don't agree with this, really. It's 100 minerals he's dedicating to building a bunker, but the spine pool just finished, and he doesn't know how many Lings are out.
I mean, maybe he's scared of it from last time, but that's what scouting can tell you. Like, he's got the SCV in base, and see that there's only...
Right, yeah, he's only seen 2 Lings chase this this SCV, so you really shouldn't be too scared of just 2 Lings. Yeah, that 100 minerals could have been invested in, his second barracks that much earlier or something.
Agreed. And he doesn't it looks like a bit smaller choke than Fighting Spirit here on this map, but again, he doesn't have anything else kind of supporting this bunker, blocking. So while it is closer to the ramp, like further in than we saw last game, Zerglings can still run around this and get into them pretty easily.
Yeah. So the Zerg is morphing their lair. I'm not sure if it was their first 100 gas or not, but either way, there's not too many Lings out on the map. I do want to know if they're going to go for a similar type strategy that they did on Fighting the Spirit with that Ling run by. I don't think so.
Yeah, it looks like they're just concentrating on mostly droning up now. I mean, which is good. Getting their second gas up. We'll see if they're going to go for mutas or lurkers.
I like that. I don't know if he did this intentionally or not, but, Allandarity, instead of going for a bunch of Zerglings like he did last game, he is droning up pretty heavily, which is smart because, the Terran player, they had just lost to those Lings last game, so they're probably really scared in their mind. No, they're not, because they're pushing out on the map. Oh, God. I don't know if this is the best thing to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know if Zerg has a bunch of Lings out on the map, and pushing out with just a small group of Marines when there's the possibility of a bunch of Lings.
Yeah, so Terran right now is pushing out blind. Yeah. His academy just finished. He could have waited for some medics. I don't know how I feel about this.
Allandarity sees the Marines still pushing across, and and then something like this could happen. Allandarity has a bunch of Lings. If he can get us around and kill off all these Marines.
Pretty good micro. That was pretty impressive. He was able to save a good chunk of his Marines. Maybe not this Marine. Nope. That's pretty good. So the whole point of moving out, obviously as the Terran player, when you push out with your Marines, you want to scare the Zerg into building Sunkens, which the Terran was successful, and he only lost 2-3 Marines. So actually I would say License to Chill did a pretty good maneuver right there.
It was alright, but it was also a risky play, because, I mean, if Zerg already had a bunch of Lings out on the map, and you do that, you just lose all those Marines for free, basically.
Right,
it's
so
just
it was pretty risky, yeah, I agree.
But as it is, it turned out, it worked out. I mean, we can see that Allandarity had to put down a couple of Sunkens and make a few more Lings, so that's less drones. or less Mutalisks or whatever, because we are seeing Mutalisk play again.
Yeah, so pretty standard play. It looks like, since Allandarity didn't have to focus on the Zerglings, any Zergling micro, he wasn't supply block this time, so that was a good improvement. And he's able to have the correct amount of Muta come out, I believe.
Look at this turret timing too. These turrets are just finishing up as the Mutas get here.
That's pretty solid timing.
That was really crisp timing, yeah, I like that.
So you notice the difference when there's not a bunch of Zerglings in your base distracting you. You're able to remember your timings. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, especially when you're at a lower level. If you do something that can potentially distract your opponent, it can also be distracting you. So if you're busy mutamicroing, the Zerg might forget to build Sunkens, or they might forget to build Lurkers. And after their mutamicro is done, they might just lose. So it's important that while you're doing stuff like this, you don't forget the bigger picture of the game. As a Zerg, you want to be mutamicroing, but there's stuff you want to be doing behind it, like taking a third base, making Lurkers. So really good by Allandarity.
License to Chill had 3 medics in the bunker and no Marines. Not sure. I mean, he put them in there to save them from the Mutalisks, but if he's going to build a bunker, he should at least have had some Marines in there, I think. Like, it's just a useless building if we were just building it with nothing.
Yeah, and again, the bunker might burn down. Oh, no. Okay, he does notice this time.
Got the repair.
Really good.
What do you think about this third base for Allandarity? Because it's close, but it's got no gas. It's a mineral only.
I'm not too sure, but at the moment, Allandarity has a really nice counterattack going on. So I'm not sure if he saw the Marines move out, but the second the Marines moved out too far into the map, he did run in with his units. And once again, doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, forced all the SCVs to be pulled. He's going to bring the Marines back in time. Scare the Mutalisks away.
I don't think the Marines came back in time, actually. He was able to stop mining completely at this base. Killed the turret, too.
He's still able to scare the Mutalisks away. He's going to be able to get mining again.
So, behind all this aggression, it's interesting that Allandarity is taking both, not just a third base, but a fourth base as well. And considering how the Terran really at this point should kind of be defensive in their base. Because as they move out like this, if Zerg had units over here, they could have done the exact same thing again. Because this is an empty bunker.
Him getting another gas for the Zerg, which is good. It looks like License to Chill is just kind of wandering. He doesn't really know where the Zerg's base is. Yeah, he just scanned like a ramp. No minerals.
Yeah, so from what I can tell, these Marines have absolutely zero medic support. Which as soon as you have medics in your army composition, you never want your Marines to be moving out without medic support. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why spend money on the academy, building medics, and then pushing out without them? This is very risky.
Oh, lost a couple of units there. Yeah, I mean, medics make Marines so much more powerful. Without them, Marines are just useless almost, right? They're pretty weak without medics to back them up.
Yeah, so overall, Allandarity is playing a really, really solid ZVT. I'm not sure if it's his best matchup or something, but Allandarity might be too good for B team. 300 APM, Lurkers defending both the ramps to his bases. He's a veteran.
He's on top of it. Oh, we see a Ling run by here.
Yes.
Rebuilt the empty bunker with nothing in it.
Very nice. So exactly like we were talking about before, the Terran army's kind of out in the middle of the map doing nothing. The Zerg knows that, and they're able to just walk right by. And once again, his base isn't mining.
Still no. Oh, we got a couple medics coming up with this army now, but I think that was the last of the Mutalisks, though.
Yeah, so Allandarity's doing a great job of kind of doing these run-by attacks, these backstabs. They're keeping the Terran kind of stuck in their base. Every time they move out, there's kind of units that just stream in and make the units come back. And yeah, not much he can do. The hive is already done. So I'm assuming there'll be defilers coming up very, very shortly.
Yeah. Allandarity's money is getting a little bit high. I know it's 2,000 minerals, 1,500 gas. In that case, so you can always throw down another hatchery. I don't know if they're saving up for anything. Probably not, because we see a defiler amount coming up now. So just watch that, and if you notice your money getting a bit high, try and spend it, throw down another hatchery.
Yeah, so it seems like Allandarity, his focus is really more on having kind of these, these tactical maneuvers and trying to outmaneuver his opponent on the map with units, running them around, versus spending his money efficiently. But regardless, he's doing so much damage, it doesn't matter. He has double the minerals and gas, but he's also on 4 bases compared to the Terran mining from just 1.
Just killed off Terran's scanner. Yeah, Terran's just struggling to ever get mining or keep mining from his natural, whereas, I mean, we can see Zerg has 4 bases up now. He's starting to saturate all these bases. Getting a Nidus Canal at his new base. Another hatchery.
Yeah, so something worth pointing out, Allandarity's kind of been able to play his game the entire time. So, Terran License to Chill has really been at the mercy of Allandarity. But regardless, he's been able to hit really solid timings. So it's 13 minutes and he's about to have consume. And once that comes, really, there's not much Terran can do to survive.
Nice little attack down here. He picked off the Nidus first, so he can't reinforce, but, I mean, I don't think he can come back.
Yeah, this is pretty good. He was able to find this expansion and send some units down to kill it. Oh,
he's not even gonna kill it.
No.
He's gonna target the Sunkens and lose all his Marines. Especially with no medics backing it up again. Yeah, he had no medics backing it up again.
Okay, so something he could have done, the Sunken range only goes so far. So if he had paid attention
drop top
and he had
left
bought... Oh my goodness.
Marine drop.
He moved his Marines into lurker range though. Keep him there. Nice.
He's killing all the drones, which is nice, but again, he has no medics with this. So I'd definitely like to see, some more medics with his army, better macro, and like walling off his natural better. Yeah. He's about to lose his natural now.
Yeah, so he was able to stop mining at the 3rd base. He was able to do a lot of damage to his 3rd hatchery, or 4th base. But at the end of the day, he traded it for his own expansion. And in this case, it's definitely not worth it. I mean, Zerg's mining in all these bases, and Terran has just the 1. Yeah.
Another nice thing, like, if you look at the mini-map, Zerg's got, like, Zerglings spread out all over to give him vision, so he can notice whenever the Terran kind of tries to move out or anything. Like, he's just all over the map. Like, he's got a lot of vision.
And so defilers are out on the map, but at this point, there's already lurkers kind of camping these barracks. It's too tough of a position to come back from.
Yeah, there's nothing licensed that you're looking at here.
Yeah, it was hard fought by License to Chill, but yeah, Allandarity just had better tactics, and that kind of solidified the win for him.
Yeah, I liked his play, like License to Chill's play better in the 2nd game. Like, he got his turrets up. A lot of it was probably because the Ling run by didn't mess him up, but it still wasn't enough. Like, Allandarity, a solid 2-0 for him.
Yeah, well played.
3-3-3 APM at the end.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just judging from these 2 games and how they went and the flow of the game, Allandarity definitely understands ZVT at a level higher than I would attribute to typical B teamers. He played really well. But, maybe his ZVZ is really bad or his ZVP is really bad. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's only week 1, so there's still lots of time to see how people improve or how their other matchups are and stuff as well.
Yeah. So definitely lots of room to improve for both of these players. Yeah, pretty cool.